Asking Alexandria, Chapter 3. She was lying on the kitchen floor, covered in blood. Her father left her there, for dead. Where was her mother? Gone, as in she died years ago. Actually, right after she was born. She was still conscious, feeling all the pain and agony of the beating her father had given her. She normally lied awake at night, wondering why she still was alive. Her phone buzzed, signaling that she had a text. She struggled to move her arms as she reached for her phone. It was a new message from Ben. With all her strength she sat up and crawled to her room. Her father thought she was weak, just like the majority of people saw her. Weak, pathetic, useless. She didn't bother to argue with them. She knew they were right. She would be better off dead. When she got to her room, which wasn't far, but the pain and the agony she was in made it seem like it was over 10,000 miles. She slowly climbed into her bed and pulled her light gray satin covers over her and closed her eyes. She thought this was it, as the final tear fell from her eyes, and sound became a distant memory. She fell into a deep, blackened sleep. She woke with a throbbing in her head, a stinging pain between her thighs, and dry blood everywhere. How could this even be possible? She moved her eyes left and right, searching for her phone, and found it right in her hand. Her arms were numb, so checking her phone was not an option. She took short, shallow breaths, for just breathing hurt her. If he didn't hurt her again, healing was now the process. Eventually, she had feeling in her arms and lifted them slowly to see her phone. 50 missed calls, 200 texts, all from Violet and Ben. Ben? Why was he worried? He barely knew her. She didn't even bother to read them. She just started to text Violet. Alexandria. Hey. Violet. Hey, what happened to you? You haven't answered me in like 3 days. Alexandria. I was out for 3 days. Violet. What happened? Alexandria. My father. Violet. He hurt you again? Alexandria. Yeah. Violet. Figures why I couldn't get into your house. Alexandria. You tried to see me? It took her some time to respond. Violet. I started to, but Paul, he wanted to hang out. I was sure you were fine. Of course Violet would choose her boyfriend Paul over Alexandria. Of course she had a boyfriend with her normal long brown hair and her normal way of dressing. She looked like a prep with sparkling blue eyes you would want to go swimming in. But Alexandria knew she was different. Alexandria. Oh, Paul. Paul hated Alexandria. She thought she was some sort of freak of nature, something that deserved to die. He was one of those jockey type of guys who did a lot of sports. No one knows why Violet chose him, but she was beginning to see that why Violet chose Paul, a guy that bullied her for all her life, over Alexandria, her best friend. Violet. Yeah, I'm so sorry about all of this. Have you talked to Ben lately? She had almost forgotten about Ben. Almost. Alexandria. I am now. She exited out of her and Violet's text and searched through her contacts until she found Ben's name. It didn't take her long, due to the fact that Ben's name started with a B, and she only had about 15 contacts saved into her phone. Alexandria. Ben? Ben. By God, Alexandria, you're alive. Alexandria. Yes. Ben. What happened to you? I tried to contact you, but you never responded. Alexandria. I had family issues. That was all she could manage to say. She didn't dare tell Ben about She didn't dare tell Ben Bruce about her home, her family, her problems, her struggles, and her past. He was perfect, and she was not. How could it be possible that he still wanted to talk to her? Ben. Are you okay? Alexandria. Yeah, sure. Ben. I want to see you. May I see you? Alexandria. Now is not a good time. Ben. Oh, alright. She felt bad for turning down Ben. She decided to suck up the pain, cover her bruises, and see him. Alexandria. Love, scratch that. I'll come see you. He sent the address to where he was staying at. She slowly sat up in bed. The pain wasn't that entirely bad. Nothing she wasn't used to. Then there was the hard part, changing clothes. She stood up and took them off, like ripping off a band-aid on a hairy arm. Nothing new, but you would think she would be used to the pain by now. She picked out dark green skinny jeans and a black shirt that said Hers Bright Skies on it in blue. She grabbed her blue snapback and grabbed her bag filled with things she might need and started to head out the door.